The problem is when you first start a business, you think you know everything about business. Like I know you don't know anything. You know what you know. And there's a whole world of people that know 10 times more than you, but how do you provide the service? And you have to be comfortable with that and be comfortable saying, I don't know, let me work with this group and help me get to the next level.
Hey, what's going down? I want to stop things really, really quick and let you know I've been thinking about you. So towards the beginning of the year, I always get calls from different business owners that are asking me how can they take their content to the next level and how can they really make social media work for their business. So I went back and really looked to see what's being offered in the industry. And I noticed that a lot of coaches and consultants are offering business owners like yourself different programs and courses, but everything is done online and leaving a business owner with still questions and concerns even after they finish the program. So what I created was a 60-day learning plan. I created a 60-day learning plan where we're going to work together step by step, imano, one-on-one, walking you through how you can turn your content into leads and sales for your business. Now, I got tired of seeing you jump from video to video on YouTube or video to video on Instagram and still not really growing your online brand presence. So I created this just for you. Now, if you want to learn more about this program, go ahead and click the link below and I'll talk to you soon. Hey, what's going down, guys? What's going down? Welcome to another episode of the Connection to podcast, where I got my boy Preston that's going to be showing us a tip or trick that you can use in your business. But I'm not going to steal his thunder. So Preston, go ahead and tell us who you are and what it is you do.
My name is Preston. I'm the founder of LegacyFirst.org LLC, which is a social entrepreneur company to help inspire and give up and coming entrepreneurs resources. So what we try to do is a lot of businesses within their first 10 years, they 70% will fail, right? So Our goal is to make sure when you go from zero to those first 3 years, to get you through a process step by step to make sure that your business goes to the growth stage. So we host digital conferences, networking events. We try to do different workshops and seminars, and we bring people, we kind of build bridges of different entrepreneurs and try to help them share their resources. So we're, iron sharpens iron, right? So our idea is that each entrepreneur will actually help the other entrepreneur. So we're encouraging each other by building community of entrepreneurs and just kind of making sure that we're not leaving any business behind, as one of my partners would say. We don't want to leave any businesses behind. We want to make sure people are finding their way to strive and reach their goals and their dreams. So.
No, that's what's up. That's what's up. Because like you said, most businesses do fail within the first 10 years. And with the spike of businesses since the pandemic and since everything has been going down, so that cause is definitely needed. How long have you been in the industry, or what got you in the industry? Because you kind of was light on your intro. He's like the king of network, and we haven't even brought that up yet. But what got you into just helping entrepreneurs in general?
Well, the truth is, it's something that, when you have something you always want to do, you just didn't figure out how to do it. You always had this passion. But just to give you my backstory, so you have a little backstory of me, my mother is responsible for my vision of entrepreneurship, which is crazy because she always is like, get a city job and everything, because she was a teacher and my father was a city worker, right? But when I was young, she had me with this, I forgot what the name of the company was. I think it's called Olympics. And we used to sell, I used to sell. At about between 8 and 10 years old, I used to go door to door selling candies, seasonal candies, and then you could get toys or you can get money. And I would take the little $2 commission from each thing I sold. And then that just inspired me to go into entrepreneurship as I got older. I just was in sales. I went into car sales, opened a little car lot. And then, I went back to, after the first recession, the Great Recession, when we had that bubble blow up, I decided to go back to college at that time. So I went to college and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And this is the crazy thing. I was thinking about becoming a marshal. Like, I was going away from my entrepreneurship. I started believing everybody, like, you know what, I'm gonna go into, take this criminal justice and just do that and everything. But during that process, I was working at a job, security. I was working full time while going to college full time. And I was working for a security company, and some young lady came to me, and I still remember Michelle to this day, and I'm so appreciative to her. And she said, basically, you know, she was like, you got a great personality. She was like, what are you trying to do? I was like, well, I'm in college. She's like, no, you should get into finance. So I'm working downtown Wall Street and as a security. And she's like, I'm going to introduce you to my mentor. So she introduced me to the guy who became my mentor, Chandler, down the line. And I mean, he started showing me all of these different things and businesses. And he took my level of thinking from here to like here. Like it was, you know, I don't know if it went above the screen, but it was like that when it was like a whole different ball game. So then he, you know, he's a South Asian guy. He's from India, but he built his business up here, you know, and he came out here when he was a kid. He was a college student, and he just inspired me. And when we were at that company, then he started his own kind of company, Veluti Capital Strategies. We just moved down the block on Wall Street, and our focus was businesses. Our focus, he's like, this is where we're working with, and this is, you know, he gave us a game plan, and we were working with doctors with multiple medical practices at the time. Mm-hmm. And if anybody lives in New York, you know, it's the demographic of doctors. There weren't too many African American doctors compared to other cultures. And I was just like, man, I really want to do something. I want to take some of these strategies and actually help my people. Like I want, you know, we could benefit from this information. Like I'm learning, because one thing about finance, they give you, I mean, it's just, they give you so much information to learn to put in your mind, right? So you're learning all of these things at the same time. You're learning all the stats, and so you could talk to business owners. But I'm learning about Black businesses. I'm learning that, oh, wow, there's 330 million Americans. There's only 11 million millionaires. But out of that 11 million millionaires, yeah, that's a low number, but there's only 39,000 Black millionaires. And most of the millionaires are coming from either entrepreneurship or they bought a house, you know, their estate is worth that. They might not, they're not cash rich, but they might have inherited a house that the family bought for $80,000 is now worth $1 million. So technically they're millionaires. So you start learning about that. So I was like, entrepreneurship's got to be the way. And literally in, you know, I started working with all these businesses in 2019, December, right? I'm telling, you know, through that 2019 year, I was telling him, listen, you know, I want to do this. You know, trying to start working with the Black attorneys and different things. So I was like,
you're telling your mentor this, right? He said,
yeah.
Indian, or what was his nationality?
He's an Indian guy, but I mean, you wouldn't even tell, like, he don't have no accent. No, he's just, he's pure American dude, but you know, he from India, you know, and it was just a very, like, the transition of how I got to Legacy First was there, right? Like but he's still my mentor to this day. Like, you know, he gave me the blessing. Like I told him, I was able to be straight up with him. I'm like, man, I want to start my own brand and do this. I want to take this. And I know that it wasn't a fit for what he was trying to do, because we were working with more doctors worth 5 million and more, right? So I'm working with building up entrepreneurs. Like I'm trying to get my community up to there. Like I'm trying to pull you up, you know, and get us out of that risk averse stage, right? It's like where we are able to take risks and go after these businesses. So either way, like you told me at the beginning to drop the stories. I gave you the background. Now you got caught up in the background.
No, that's actually interesting, because I was going to say, and just going from working with entrepreneurs, business owners that are making 5 million and more, to now saying, or being even knowing thyself to know, hey, I want to work with entrepreneurs that almost haven't made anything, you know, or probably are just now starting to really make sales. What was that transition like when it comes to mindset, but also just a transition as a business owner yourself?
Well, the transition, and you talk about as far as the entrepreneurs that I was working with, like the transition of the different mindsets?
No, the mindset of like you as an entrepreneur, because I think your mindset had to change a huge difference from talking to somebody that's maybe got like 5 million in the bank to now you're talking to somebody where you might be discussing where you gotta, you know, something so minimal like $27 or, you know, like something like that. So what's the mindset shift as you as a business owner?
Well, for me, you know what? I'm glad you asked that question. That was a good question, because for me, it took understanding that, like, I automatically came, when I started working with businesses that were just started, I came with the presumption that nobody has no money, right? So I'm like trying to do things free and trying to see if I get sponsors. And you have to realize, like, you know, people pay for what they want, right? Like people will invest, you know, people with no money will invest in some Jordans, right? Like, they'll get on that line because they love Jordans. So I had to quick, because I'm used to people that, money wasn't really, you're not really thinking about money. But I had to, but I took like some of the styles, the conversation style I was dealing with them, and I basically treat them with the same respect. But now I had to understand that, if they do want the services that we provide, they will invest in it, because it's an investment in them. It's an investment in yourself. You're building something that's going to help them. And if they don't see it as that, then, it's okay. It's just move to the person that can see that. Not everybody's going to, because the problem is when you first start a business, you think you know everything about business. Like I know you don't know anything. You know what you know. And there's a whole world of people that know 10 times more than you, but how do you provide the service? And you have to be comfortable with that and be comfortable saying, I don't know, let me work with this group and help me get to the next level, so that was it. But sure. I was going to say, on my 2019 story, I started the business in December 2019. Oh. And you know what happened in 2020?
Yeah.
So
we definitely, people was like, I definitely don't got no money. I'm just kidding.
But the truth of the matter is, I was thinking I was going to move some accounts over, and I was going to stick to finance, right? Like I was going to stick to finance. My thing was I was going to help entrepreneurs raise their capital. The idea of legacy first was build your legacy first. Everybody was talking generational wealth, and you're skipping over the part because you're saying, I want to build generational wealth. But to me, I mean, it sounds the same, but to me, the thinking has to change. Like I'm building up this empire. This is going to create generational wealth, but build up your legacy. What's your legacy going to be? What is beyond this? What is your legacy going to be? But either way, 2020 comes and I try to move some accounts. Nobody wasn't moving at that time. But at the beginning of the year, I'm a spiritual person, and I don't do New Year's resolutions like, oh, I need all this money and everything. And so I literally in January, I was like, it was a crazy thing. I was like, God, whatever opportunity you give me, I'm not going to turn it down, no matter if it's $1 or $1,000 or $50,000, whatever you give me, I'm not turning anything down this year. You won't believe it. I ended up working with nothing but churches for the rest of the year. Literally, like I was like, that's you can't make it up.
Talk about God. Yeah. Wow.
You can't make it up. But because I had taps into, when you're in finance, you're around a lot of these techies and stuff like that, because they're always trying to get capital from you and everything. So I'm always connecting with a lot of tech. So I'm always was above, like a little bit ahead of everybody with information that was coming down the line. And so I started utilizing, and I realized they didn't need financing. They needed to help to get their churches set up virtually. They needed to thing. And then some of the businesses, as we were going through pandemic, they were like closing down shop. I'm like, you don't have to close down shop. Let me show you how to take this business on a virtual platform. Matter of fact, you probably 10 times your sales right now, because truthfully, the e-commerce sales had like quadrupled over a pandemic. So I'm like, let me show you how to do it. And that's literally what happened. So more businesses started looking at me more for like, can you do what you did for him? Can you set up a virtual event for me? And I started using these different platforms like Hopin, and I was using StreamYards. I was started doing video and graphic design. I mean, you had to be creative to make some money, but and that's just basically what happened. And I ended up, and then the rest is history. And then we became more of this kind of space, helping businesses get into the digital world, because that's the future. The physical locations can always be a thing, but if you want to reach those higher levels, you're going to have to get yourself some digital real estate. You're going to have to own and dominate your space. And that's just the bottom line.
and it is the bottom line. I'm all about content strategy, being on top of your content. So I'm with you. So how did the legacy first, and that's a community of entrepreneurs. So when it comes to that community of entrepreneurs, how are you building that digitally? Because I know I was one of the panelists for one of your events, Moguls.
Moguls Connect Networking Mixer.
Moguls Connect Networking Mixer, which is a really cool spin about networking versus marketing, and bringing that digital space together. So how has that Legacy First been able to bring that digital space together when it comes to new entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in general?
That's a beautiful thing. So Legacy First is more of is a business to help upcoming entrepreneurs.
Right.
But we do different campaigns, right? Like so the Moguls Connect is a campaign that we did. We partnered with Sigma Solution Marketing, which is Armand Sheets on this. We have our MBIN campaign. We have the Capital City podcast. Like we have different things that work around it, but it's all centered around helping entrepreneurs develop and grow, right? But so as far as building the community, we started building online through Instagram and Clubhouse. You know, those were the two platforms that we were really building on at first. You know, I was already utilizing LinkedIn, but it was mainly Instagram. And what we did, which was different, I think that everybody realizes, like you said, you always say, you know, be authentic, be yourself. And one thing about me, I'm a person that I want to see how I can help you, right? And that's the idea of what Legacy First is like, I want to see how I can help you. I want to build with you. I want to help you grow. Right. And the reason I learned that and believing that that's a mindset shift that most people have to go through to really grow in business. Because when I was in finance, there was a guy, I think his name is Bob. I don't remember, but he came to teach us. He was like one of the top financial guys in the industry. And he came to teach like the young, you know, the new people. And like, basically when you're doing good, they put you in these rooms with these people that help you do better. It's a weird thing, right? Like they don't put the people that are not doing good. They put the people that, okay, you hit this level, we're going to put you in the room with this guy. So then there's like, you get this little round table discussion.
It's exclusive.
Yeah. So it just makes you better and better and better, right? And he was saying that when he first started in finance, he made $7,000 the first year. He was like, I should have been fired. And he said the second year he made like 15,000. And he's like, man, what am I doing? And so he made a conscious decision that, you know what? I'm not going to worry about myself anymore. I'm going to try to help the people around me become successful. I'm going to help them become millionaires. Whatever I can do to get them to the next stage where they have to go with whatever they're doing. And so he picked a few friends that, you know, he knew, or colleagues or people that he came in contact with that were doing business. And he helped them. He connected them to people. He networked. And because they got to that level, they became millionaires. He became a millionaire because guess what? They start bringing him in those rooms where he was, you know, they would start, hey, come on, we're having a dinner over here. We're having an event over here. Come over here. This is my financial guy. And then they were like, oh, yeah, he helped me do this, and this. And now, bam, guess what? Now all he deals with is millionaire. He don't even look at you if you make less than $15 million a year. And I'm like, and you got to remember when you first start, somebody tell you that I don't even talk to you unless you make 15 million. You like,
whoa, oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, dang. I'm like, what kind of friends do you have, bro?
You know multiple people that make 15 million? Well, hold on. Let me see.
You know what I'm saying?
Your contacts.
I'm like, I think my mother made 100,000 or doing a lot of overtime maybe or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like in your brain, you're just thinking in your mind, like, you know, you don't know people's pockets, but you know that I don't even think anybody in my circle. But it's just a mindset shift to help others. And so I took that and I made that a part of who I was. And from that moment on, anybody around me knows that, you know, I'm always going to promote you. I'm your biggest cheerleader. And I'm not one of those people that you got to build trust with. I trust you up front. Now you show me otherwise, then I'll move on. But me, I'm giving everybody benefit of doubt and inviting them in because I know there's a relationship to be built there. And hey, I might be able to help you. You might not even be able to help me. But guess what? Eventually, you might find somebody that connects with me that may be assistant. You never know, you know, so you never know who knows who. Sometimes you sit next to somebody and you don't even know their cousin is multi-millionaire. And they be like, man, this guy always look out for me, you know?
Exactly. That's one thing I can attest to. You are consistently looking out in the digital spaces. If y'all not attached to Legacy First or in some type of way, you're a business owner, you're doing yourself a disservice because that's one thing I can say about what it is you've built. Like you say, naturally people, they want to engage, they want to talk back. It's not a community where it's like, oh, because you started it, you're the only one that's talking. It's like, no, you have other people that's talking, engaging, and wanting to be a part of it. So that it's a very beautiful thing. It's a very, very beautiful thing. And you know, I had to get you on here for the nuts and bolts. This is really for me. This for me. I need these networking tips. This guy's the king of we met through networking. He's like king of DM. He's like, if it goes down and the DM was a person, this guy, person is a guy you need to be talking to, because this guy, oh my God. I think he gave me one tip about a DM, and I don't even know if I told you that I'd be using it, but I still use it, the whole send them a picture and then just start that conversation and start it going. That's actually working for me as well on that downtime. Like, let me do the Preston. I call it the Preston. Let me do the Preston.
Now, if I'm gonna throw some tips, you're gonna have to throw me some marketing tips because I would need some of those. That's how we met though. You know, I actually, believe it or not, I met you because you had an ad. You had a sponsored ad. And I was like, oh, I like this ad. You know, boom. I hit it up on right off the ad, you know. So yeah, you're right. I'm not afraid to jump in and send a message, you know.
The DM king. And I think that attests to how your community has grown or how it's consistently grown. I think Armand was saying you grew like 200 or 300 followers in 1 month, just based off.
Yeah, it was like a week or so. It's a week. But yeah.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, look, a week.
yeah, no, but remember so my original page was shut down. It got hacked or something like that. So you go from 6,000 followers to 175 followers, because luckily I had the Legacy First page, right? Like I created it, but I wasn't doing nothing with it, right? But I just had it and we were using it. And it's funny because we intentionally were going to use Legacy First. And we started off, and then he was like, man, but you got all those followers on your regular page. Just use that. So we started doing it on there. And then I had a situation where I didn't have my phone for 3 weeks, so I couldn't get on Instagram. So we had we had to drive. We had the event coming up, and we had to drive. We only had like 15 days, and I was like, bro, we gonna just go in, and that's what we did. And he was like, boop, 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 boop. You see the numbers going? He's like, man, what's going on? I'm like, yeah. But what we've been focusing on is organic traffic. Like, so believe it or not, I'm not going in for all these followers. So there's a lot of people that get deleted. If I see your page hasn't been active, like you haven't posted since September and it's November, delete it. Because the truth is, like, the algorithm is showing it to people that are showing your posts to certain people. And if they're not active on the page, then it could become it bringing up on their page and they're not even going to see it. So it limits the amount of people that can see my stuff. So if I see you not active, I'm like, nah, I'm good. Keep going. So I'd rather delete that person and have people that are active. And that's what we focus on, the people that are actually active on the platform that we're on, you know. So we're doing a slow growth, organic growth.
Yeah, it definitely. What,
that's my marketing guy too, you know. Armand he's all about the organic. I'm like, yo, it's time to do some ads. He's like, no, let's wait.
It's funny because he is king of organic. But I think the mix that you guys have going now is definitely working. So I would say, what would you say, or what is a tangible tip that you would give someone that wants to start maybe networking online in the digital world? What would be one of the first things you would say they should do, or how should they go about it?
The first thing I would say is, before you even, slide in, you got to pick a platform that you're really going to work, because before you go to all the different platforms, I'm like, it's good to have time in different platforms, but you don't have all the time in the world to really be on social media like that, right? Like, you want to be doing income producing activity. Like, you're in business to produce income. And if these are long-term plays, like, you're building up relationships for the long term, but you do need your immediate income. So it's just like, pick the platform, or two, if it's two, then use two, but and really have a time, like, I'm going to intentionally engage during these times. I picked different slots of the day. Like, I'm not, for some people feel like I'm on all day, because I do a 15-minute slot here, boom, 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 hitting everybody up. And then they might not hear back from me for like 2-3 hours, because I'm waiting, I got another slot coming up for 20 minutes, right? So just do that and make sure. And then the next thing I would say is set the goal on what you want that relationship to be, because you have to, everybody's going to have a different purpose of why you're reaching out to them. So you're looking at their page, you're seeing something in their page. What do you see in it? And then that's make your goal of how do you want this relationship to build up? Do you want it to, are you looking for this person to buy a product or service? Or are you looking to build a relationship network and share community?
Right.
What are you looking for from this person? So you can, when you start your conversation, you're not going in like 3 different ways. I want you to do this. Can we do this, and this? No, just have a regular conversation with a friend. You just met somebody at a bar, you're having a drink, you start telling them 20 different things. They're like, all right.
Much info. I'm good. I just met you.
Hey, can you share my post? Can you buy this? Can you get this? And you're like, yo, just relax, So that's my thing, was like, set a goal and pick the platforms. Those would be my like first 2 suggestions.
And a lot of people, sometimes they have the speculation about jumping in DMs. It's the imposter syndrome. It's the, I don't want to bother people. I don't want to seem like a pest. How do you come over that? Well, I think you naturally born with just, hey, I'm going in it. Well, what advice would you give somebody that needs to overcome something like that?
You know, it's interesting you said that, because it's like the tip I told you. It's more about when I first message someone, it's not about myself, right? Like I want to be, but you can't, you know, it's the world has changed, right? Like everybody's adapted. So you can't come in and be like, oh, I would love to be. Back in the day, that's what my line would be when I first started building. I was using LinkedIn at the time. Is like, you know, I would connect with them, and then I would say, you know, if I could be a resource in any way, let's, you know, I would love to connect with you, see how I could be a resource to you. But that's changed because so many people are doing that now, right? Like you have to be different. So my thing was, how do I encourage the person? So I would say before you even get in a DM, I'm just going to give you like a strategy that person uses. You can use this. This is exclusive for you guys, you know, because I gave you the tip,
Yeah,
but I didn't give you the whole rundown. When I follow someone, the first thing I do is I like a few pictures, right? Like I want you to see me. Like I want, boom, it blink up that you see me. I like a few pictures. I leave a comment. You know, I don't do it all at the same time. I like a few pictures. Maybe a little while later, I leave a comment on something that gravitates to me. I got to be real with it. So if it's something that doesn't gravitate to me, I'm not going to say anything. But if it's a post that you may put a motivational post, and I'm like, yeah, man, that really caught me. I really caught my attention. I really love that one. Where'd you get it from? You know, now, you know, they comment back. Now we engage. Then I will go into their message box. Now, if there's a post that they put, you know, most of the time I look at people, you know, sometimes people put motivational posts. I like when they put something of their own, maybe a product or service or something like that. And that's when I would share the message with them. So I went from the liking it, following, liking, commenting. Now I take your own post and send a message to you about your post. And I'm like, hey, you know, I love this. I love this. How did you think of this? You know, or something like that. Like whatever it is, I'm sharing my real genuine feeling about it. And so since I'm sharing my genuine feeling, now you think about it. If somebody told you, man, I love this marketing strategy, you know, that you came up with. This is a great idea. You know, you're like, yeah, I appreciate that. You know, like you feel good. You feel good in your chest. Like, yo, somebody really appreciate my work. And, you know, you took time to come up with this idea, right? So that's how I get in there. I start asking them questions, and I really start more learning about the person than even talking about myself. I don't even.
Are you doing this all at the same
talking about
time?
myself.
Like, is this all at the same time? Like, am I going
No.
comment? Like, how long am I waiting? Like, and then wait 10 minutes, an hour? Like, how?
Oh yeah. I mean, you don't want to be like a spam artist. So
a spam, not a rap artist, a spam artist.
Yeah. Like that's what they call it. And I mean, I get spam all day too. These Forex people, like they not even real Forex people. But I do it in series, maybe 2 days, something like that, 2-3 days. I like to make sure that it's in your mindset, because it's in your minds, because one thing is you don't want to do it too far apart, because if somebody has, let's say they have 6, 7, 8,000 followers and they're getting messages, they might, you know, it might go over their head. But if you do it like, if they're smaller pages, you could do it right back to back. They look in the build, right? If it's bigger pages, you want to do it patiently. And it's like, oh, you know, because it's like, I followed you. I liked it today. I commented the next day. I sent a message you the next day. I'm like, you're seeing me really engage, and you're seeing this genuine engagement. And now usually the person is going to follow you back automatically. They're looking at you. Even if they don't follow you back, they don't like it. Trust me, they're looking at your page. Right. You know, so that's another thing when it comes to like the marketing ideas, you know, that we always try to tag. And marketing is very important, because you want to make sure your page looks like the brand you're trying to give the first impression of, because you can't tell them anything. You have to showcase it. Like they have to look and see, okay, oh, I see what he's about, you know? So, so I do it in a series of days. I usually don't I take time. But if it's a small account, you could do it the same day. I follow, like, and then send a message, comment. But if it's a mid-sized page, then I'll take a couple of days.
Do you have like a list, like a running list? How you keeping updated? Like, let's say you follow 10 people today. How do you keep updated that, oh, these are my leads technically?
Well, I don't. I do. You know, that's the thing. Online's always telling me, but me, I'm here, because technically, when you follow people, right? Like you follow people, you can click your followers, and you can see people you recently followed. So I'm going through the list of my recent follows, and then I'm catching on to them. Now there's another thing that, you know, I'm throwing there's another thing that we just tried out, and it's very interesting. This is with the stories. I take the time, you know, once a week, I'm not doing this every day, to go through everybody's stories that's on my Instagram. Like everybody that that follows me, not that I follow, that follows me. Because
I
sometimes,
know, but still,
and
that's
I'll
a
just throw
lot.
as many as possible. And I mean, I'm going through, like, that's a 1 day thing where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna take me about an hour at least. And I'm just
Right.
boom, 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 boom. But it does pick up on your stories, because person see you on their story and you've been liking and commenting on their stuff, they come and check your stories and stuff like that. So it's just another tip, because once you need that back and forth. You need them to see what you're doing, you see what they're doing, and that's where a conversation can happen.
So are you actually watching the stories, or is it kind of like just double tap?
All right. I mean, some people have too many stories, man. I tell them, I'll be like, man, I got 20 stories, but I do go through it because I have to be able to give some kind of like feedback, I'm definitely gonna leave a comment on one of the stories or something like that. Because most of the time people will post in their stories their posts, like they're posting something that they posted. So you're like, okay, I know this person just posted something. They want the engagement. I'm giving them the engagement. You might go to somebody and their page has like 2 likes and three comments on it, and most of the time those be spam comments. Like we will promote your page. So you giving that comment just connects you to that person, like taking the time out when nobody else did, just connects you to that person. You don't know, they may have an idea, and you might be able to help them, build their idea out.
No, for sure. I can attest to that. Anytime I see somebody with low engagement or low likes, I make sure I like it. I don't know. I don't know if it's the content creator thing in me or what, but it's like, nah, exactly. I need to like this. I don't care how many people like it. I'm liking it because you just want to. People take time to put stuff out, and just to bypass it almost feel like a disservice to me sometimes. So
it's true.
I got to do it. And just FYI, we've been talking a lot about Instagram. So we're talking about like posting and the comments and DMs, things like that. This is directly towards the Instagram platform.
Oh, yeah.
But you said you had some LinkedIn stuff for us too. So we're not going to let you go without giving us a few LinkedIn tips. And a lot of people use LinkedIn
even
now
Facebook.
So you see what he got? He got LinkedIn. I told you, the networking king. The networking king in the digital space.
I'm gonna give you one Facebook tip. One Facebook tip I guarantee will change everything for a lot of people.
What?
And you can see my posts on Instagram. This works on most pages. It won't work on LinkedIn if you're not actively engaging on LinkedIn. That's the only difference with LinkedIn. Like if you're not actively active on LinkedIn, it's not gonna work. But a lot of people go, Facebook groups. Some of these Facebook groups have 100,000 people, 200,000 people. You post on it, you get 1 like. You're like, what the heck? I'm posting. You're trying to advertise, but everybody's trying to advertise. So the best thing to do, I always tell people, is celebrate your wins. Right? Like recently, I was awarded honoree. I got an award for leadership award and whatnot, and I posted it on Instagram and I posted it on Facebook. On Facebook, I think it was like 150 likes or something like that. It was something like that, right? All of those likes, all those people right there, because what I'm doing is I'm telling the story. I'm showing myself, and I'm like, I'm just, so excited and happy about this, and this, and this. This just happened for me. I just started my business. Whatever your win is, sell it on there. Put a story behind it. Post a picture, and maybe 2 or 3 pictures if you want. And then when you're in that group, and then it's like when the people like you, now that's an opening platform for me to give you a message, because you just saw my page. So what I do is those people that like me, I go to their pages, I look at them, I follow them, because with Facebook, if you're not an actual friend, it'll send it to like the message request box. With people don't even know how to get to that, right? So you message, you follow them. Now they just saw you say celebrate a win, you're authentic to them. Now you message them like, you know what? I really appreciate you tapping in, especially if they left a comment of congratulations. I'd rather focus on the people that commented than the likes, but I'll go to the likes. But if you get like 40 likes, that's 40 leads, right? And then, I'm grateful for this community, right? Like remember, that's a community. So you guys, I'm in a group, Houston. I'm not even in Houston. I'm in New York. I'm in a Houston business community. I'm in Atlanta business community. I'm in all of them. And I do the same thing in every one of them. And even like I'll engage, but I haven't been on Facebook in a minute except for to post that. But I'll say, I'm really grateful for this community that we have here at such and such community. It's really helped me get my business to the next level. Everybody's been helping me and showing support. And I'll definitely, if you know anyone that needs such and such services, please let me know. that is a direct hit right there, because I'm not asking them for anything. I'm telling them, if you know someone, and they're like, oh yeah, great. And then I'm like, oh, after that, they like, when they say that, I'm like, by the way, what do you do? I would love to know a little bit more. Started a whole conversation. We just pulled them in. That's it. Started a whole conversation off of them just leaving a comment. But a lot of people, they over there trying to sell their services, like just posting. Don't post your, people don't care. You know, they they trying to sell their stuff. So, you know, how do you get across that threshold, you know?
No, that's good. That's gold.
Yeah.
That's gold. I'm gonna use that. If nobody else don't use it, just know Jha using it. Oh man, I'm on that one. No, for real, I'm on that one. So that's
should, you know what? I want to just try that. Try that with, you know, when you went to the, I don't know if you posted the Les Brown in any Facebook groups, but you know, like, you know, I had the great opportunity to be with one of the most amazing motivational speakers, Les Brown, and it was mind blowing. It taught me a lot about business. I'm going to be looking to network with so many people, you know, whatever it is, you know, whatever story, whatever you felt about that event, but you know, you tagged it and you showed some of the pictures. People will be like, oh my, congratulations. They let me on stage to speak. I'm so excited. See, and then see how they kick it with you, you know, or one of the marketing events.
Good.
You got, because you go to a lot of events
on Facebook. I got a lot of this type of stuff on Instagram I can pull from there.
Yeah, you got, man. I see you at the opera. I see you at you at this event. I'm like, man, I was telling Armand that. I'm like, man, bro, we need to start traveling, man, because
man,
but it's good. I mean, it brings people to your brand. I think that's what people attract more to your brand, is just like your story. I think they're watching your whole journey, you know, watching you go to these places, come back, re-energized with more information. It's just like, it's amazing. That's why I'll be tagged on your page.
No.
Before we started, I was just telling you about, I'm loving these new reels and stuff that you popping in. I'm telling you.
I appreciate that, man. A lot of times you never know what's being, you never know what's being seen, what's being liked, what's being heard. So again, when you're part of a community of other entrepreneurs and people that understand the mission and are actually tuned in to what you're doing, it does play a huge factor in everything you're doing. You done gave us a lot of gold. You gave us a lot of gold. I'm gonna wrap up in a second, but I did want to ask you one important question. What is Preston's legacy? What's the ultimate goal and legacy for Preston?
Ooh. You know, I'm glad you asked that question. That's a good question. For me, my legacy would be that I help close that wealth gap in the African-American community. I don't know if you see, that's mostly who I work with. I work with everyone. I don't discriminate against any group or anything like that. Whoever works for me, I'm willing to work with. But I've been, my mission has been mostly coming from underserved communities, trying to get them over. And I would like to see that 39,000 go up. I would be like to be a part of that, seeing more millionaires coming out of the community. And not just, we have a lot of millionaires that come from sports and entertainment, and I don't knock it, because when I was young, I wanted to be in entertainment too. I was rapping and playing basketball. I was playing football. I was trying to do anything to get out the neighborhood.
Preston rapping. I can see you rap. Man, could you just go? You got this personality. Go, and I can see it.
Listen. I'm gonna tell you this. I did a battle rapping for a little bit, and I did all right. But I had I had a friend one time, like my friends, they were really into it. I was more like P. Diddy. The little catchy hooks and all of that. And I remember I was with a girlfriend at the time, and a girl I was talking to in high school and everything, and there was a substitute, and somebody must have told them. They all came in there. They're like, yeah, let's get a battle going on. And I wasn't prepared. They had raps ready for me, man. They embarrassed the heck out of me. That girl was sitting there watching me get towed up. I was like, man, I don't appreciate y'all for doing that.
Stopped after that? That was it?
Yeah, it was bad. But that's my legacy. When I see those numbers, like I said, it's to inspire entrepreneurship, because I believe that's the way that we can change things for our communities. That's why not only do I promote entrepreneurship, I promote social entrepreneurship. And even during the pandemic, just to give you a background of what we were doing as far as legacy, for every time somebody made a purchase from our company during pandemic, and I mean, we continue this, but mainly I'm talking about the pandemic, we donated to any organization or business that the customer wanted to. So like whatever they did, we did. I think it was $25 at one point. And it was like, you can give, and if any service, we'll give $25, and they get to pick. It had to be local. It couldn't be a national organization, like where it had to be a local based organization from your community, right? So we have people that was from Texas. I got people that from Florida that I do business with, and they got to pick the organization, which makes them a part of this, right? Like they get they were happy to pick up the different organizations. They were happy to do that. So, that's something we do as a give back, and we want to inspire other entrepreneurs to give back. Don't just leave the community you come from. Help build it, help catch that next generation, help them to see that it is possible for you to succeed. It's possible for you to start a business, a corporate company. We want to get more people in tech. It's possible for you to start a tech and become have $100 million company, and just came from this neighborhood. So when I grew up, I didn't have none of that. I didn't, there's nobody I could look at and say, man, only thing I know about was like, you're either going to do basketball or you're going to rap, or you're going to get a job like your mom, working a city job, and she complained about the job. Oh, man, these teachers, this. I'm like, nah, these people are millionaires. But, as I got older and I started getting different networks, I started seeing, man, they are millionaires. How do we bring these people? So we have to, and that's why I tell people another, not to go on, but
you're good.
I tell people that it's not about the $1 million or the $10 million. For me, like, you becoming successful is about the lives that you're going to inspire. Like, you're going to inspire the next generation. You're not even inspire somebody older than you who always wanted to do something. I have people around me that are older than me and that'll say, you know what, you put things in a different way. I really want to go and chase my dream. So go do the business. You can still work your job and do a business part. Not everybody's going to have a full-time business. Some people are going to work a job and have a part-time business. I know people that have done that for 20 years. And there's some people that they want to do business and that's all they want to do. But you might inspire somebody that's going to, and not only one person, you might inspire thousands, and those people will inspire. And as long as your message and your mission is clear, that you want them to return that favor, return that information, be like I said, iron sharpen iron, then you're changing the mindset. They've always given us these bad slogans in our community. Like when I grew up, they were like, oh, our people crabs in a barrel, you can't. And I'm like, why do y'all think, if we thought different, it'd be different. And I'm like, I'm around people now, I don't see none of that. So I don't know where your energies come from, but that's because it was trained to you to think that way. So you're passing it on. So let's change that whole mindset and just say, you know what? I'm around the community. We all helping each other. Sometimes some people help me out. Like I'm reaching out to what's the name about the e-commerce. I'm reaching out to this person. I'm trying to learn in everything. Whatever we can get into, I want to learn. Because if this is a way to help me become successful, I'm going to learn it. And I want to share that information on to the next generation as well. So that's our mission. The mission is to inspire more entrepreneurs from our communities, build up, create a whole system of social entrepreneurship where people are giving back to their community, helping uplift the people around them and build. So even now, I just sent out some nonprofits. I was like, send me your links if you have a digital link, because by the end of the year, we're going to figure out the numbers and we're going to just like send out checks to different organizations, so that's what we're doing it for.
No, that's what's up.
Hopefully,
what's up.
I didn't get y'all no LinkedIn tip, but it's all right.
Oh, no. Oh, you got some LinkedIn for us too?
I was gonna give you anything you wanted. I'm up to you. It's up to you. You
can give me a LinkedIn snippet if you got one. Before...
Well, LinkedIn, everything happens in the DMs anyway. So I'm gonna just give one tip on LinkedIn. I'll give you two. One is you can look for, especially like you can look for the people. One thing about LinkedIn is beautiful. It's the best platform for B2B, B2C right now. It's very huge with that because everybody's there professionally to do business, period. Like everybody's there to do business. Now, the idea is if you're going to become a customer, they're going to become a customer. That's what they're looking at, right? Like they're like, I'm trying to sell you, you're trying to sell me.
Right.
I have people that see me do a service and then still try to sell that service to me. And I'm like, bro, did you not look at my page? But the first thing I would tell people, if you have a business, create your business page, deck your business page out, and then make yourself whatever you want to be, president, agent, whatever of your business. Like, let that be a legitimate thing. Don't, have nothing there or just put like, oh, I work for this company. That's one thing. And then when you're searching, you can search for you're looking for. most of the time, me personally, I'm looking for people that just started business. Most people that just started business, guess what? They're going to put entrepreneur. So I'm looking for entrepreneurs in Houston, Texas. That's because when you first started business, the first thing you want everybody knows you're an entrepreneur. So a lot of times you'll have people put that. As people develop, they start to put president of such and such company. Me, right. I use managing partner because I come from the financial world. Managing partner meant that, this was your space, So I use managing partner, but some people use entrepreneur. Then they'll use president and founder as they get into bigger spaces. I look for companies that have less than 10 people most of the time. And I tell people that you can look for companies, so you look for your spaces. So now I'm going to we got the like how they look for people. You got that all in the search box. You can search, filter it out and everything like that. But to start the conversation is the easiest thing on LinkedIn, because what I do is I just connect with everybody. Literally, the first thing I do is connect. It's not like Instagram where, you follow them. You got to wait to see if they follow you back or anything. Once you connected to each other, right? Now we can start sending each other messages. So when they connect, the first thing I'm going to do is thank them for connecting with me, right? And I've looked through their page. I've read through their page. And that's when I'm kind of like divvying their page. So your page might say content strategist because you put on your Instagram content strategist. So I'll say, hey, hey, Jha, thanks for connecting. I really look forward to networking. I don't know how great this platform has really been good with me networking. I met a lot of great individuals here. And I saw that you were a content strategist. And I just really would like to learn more about that. Like, what do you, when you say content strategist, what kind of things are you doing in terms of content? Now you're going to start telling me a little bit about what you do. You want to ask me about what I do. And like I said, if you have a goal, it depends on what your goal is. That's where you're going to have which way you go with the conversation. But you always want to start the conversation first. I always tell people, be the initiator. People don't initiate conversations. Some people add you and never speak to you. You'd be like, dang, I never spoke to that person. Mm-hmm. But so start that comment. Everybody that, even on any platform, anybody follow you, start a conversation with them. But definitely on LinkedIn, because you could literally just from that conversation, just off of what they do. Now, if they sell cars, what cars is, you can you got to be a little more creative with that start a conversation. But the idea is to inquire more about that person. If they sell real estate, be like, do you do commercial real estate? Are you doing residential? I saw a YouTube channel. They were doing luxury real estate. I was definitely interested in learning more about that. And that's how I start. I'm like you said, DM every if you notice, every one of my strategies leads me right into the DM. And from there, it's, and now with the voice, you could do voice with Instagram, you could do voice with these. And one of the last things I would say in any of these platforms, try to get everybody off the platform to have a real conversation. If you can get them on Zoom, Skype, even if in Instagram, believe it or not, I've been using the video. I just turn my thing off and just talking audio, but I don't like walking around with the video camera on. But I literally will like set up calls and really get those conversations, because networking, for anybody that knows, networking is about building relationships. It's the same process of building a relationship as building a relationship with your friend in high school or anything. You have to have contact. You have to have touches to really build a relationship. You have to have some kind of touch. And I'm not talking about physical. I'm talking about, we talked on this day, we talked on that day, we shared this on this day, share that on that day. I share their content. I do it. You build in the relationship. You people are judging you based on every step of the way. And then when they feel it's genuine and there's like this shift, they'll support you. I have to, like, even one of our events, the event we just did, we had somebody that not only did they purchase 8 tickets for their community, but since they referred us, there was other tickets sold because of it, right? Like they actually, actually were so supportive of us because of, those relationships that was built. And we just connected in September. In our last event, we had a networking with a purpose event where we just did networking. This one we added the panels, which, I was glad to have you on. I heard y'all room was good. Everybody was like, yo, they learned some marketing stuff in there and everything like that. But that was to make it different, and it's just been doing different. So activities have to happen and communication has to happen. So that's why we keep doing these different activities, just to keep the group connecting. Because me and you talking one-on-one, but most of the time people are watching others talk and they're in the same room, but there's no real Now you get the time to talk to each other, and you surprised. You meet somebody in Orlando and you're in Texas, and y'all might become like real tight on the business and end up partnering up, and boom, your business is doing, you know, you just need, like, sometimes you just need that one piece.
No, for sure, for sure. And
So,
I'm
I hope that LinkedIn wasn't too wild. I ain't
no, it wasn't
crazy.
wild at all. I actually got this is my last question for real. So
Okay.
what would you say has been the biggest or the most valuable relationship you've built from networking online?
The biggest?
The most valuable, whatever you want to put it. And it could have been over extensive amount of time, but what has been like, you're like, man, this is a big fish. I met them on a digital world and you grew a relationship, and it could have turned into business. It could have turned into mentorship or friendship, or what has been like just the most valuable?
I reach them all the same. They all have their own value, you know, like everybody has their own value, you know, but I'll give you an example. Samantha Rosetta, I am Samantha Rosetta, who's a self-care coach. I connected with her. She's the person I was talking about that was, you know, actually sponsored our event. So anybody want to check her out, I am Samantha Rosetta. Build with her. She's been very supportive. She's even like, you know, she got me into self-care. She's always checking in on me. Like, you know, that relationship to me is very important. I feel that, you know, it's like, you know, are you working on your self-care today? What did you do for yourself? Like, did you take a time out for yourself? And I'm like, man, that's why I always promoting her. And I'm telling people, you have to have somebody like that, because beyond the business, you need that. Then you got Morgan, which is one ambitious _ girl, who is like, she's basically our third person. Like, I'm always having her on the lives. She's always like, what are we doing next? She just hit me up today. Like, what are we doing next? We can't stop. We got to keep going. The energy there. I got Armand I met, you know, Armand, we do the lives together, right? Like Armand is, we like, I can't keep going. I can't give anybody that same thing. You know, I pick up, matter of fact, I was picking up, just to give you an example, like, from your page, we share so much content, but I don't even know how much content we shared amongst each other's content. But to me, that's like that value, like that build, that's been a bridge building, watching you, you know, like you even gave me the motivation, like, you don't even remember, you probably do remember, but when you sent me that picture with that you was at the Les Brown thing, and I like, something was crazy. Morgan put me in the room with Les Brown on Zoom. Like, she's in his group, and she's like, I wish I would know you wanted to meet Les Brown. You know, I'm in a group. I was supposed to be one of the speakers at the event because, you know, she was participating in his group. And I'm like, what? And then you sent me a picture, like, I was with, like, man, you know, so it's like everybody to me, you know, has brought so much value. So I couldn't say there's one person. I mean, I'm being selfish and ain't even a few, because everybody, I just think the community, if anything, that's been the biggest thing is that we actually built a community. And I saw it today, like I saw Professional DNA doing the love with the Love Doctor, and they met on our platform, you know. I mean, excuse me, not Professional DNA. I am Samantha Rosetta was with the Love Doctor. They met on our platform. Professional DNA is doing an event in Atlanta with Miss West Creative. They met on our platform. You know, like when I see stuff like that, and I hope I got the name right, like those connections, those relationship building, that's, you know, that's to me is more important. That's more for me, because I see everybody else connecting, because that's what this is about. Is like you said earlier, it's not just about us, you know, the platform. You could create something, but it's like when you create you know, it's funny because I always talk about, I used to have this philosophy, I'm a tongue twist the words, but when somebody makes a chair or a television, once they sold it, it's out. Right. It's no longer like it belongs to the world. Like that TV, television may be sold 4 or 5 times, but it's out. It doesn't matter. It's doing what it's supposed to do. And that's the same thing when you build up the community. It's not like, yeah, we initiated it, but everybody that's a part of it has an equal share in what's being built. Like everybody. So if I see you building with this one, I'm glad. That's like, oh, look, this is what this is about. I'm telling people, they're like, oh yeah, what's the name? Reached out to me. I'm like, so connect. What's the problem? Oh, well, you know, all right, well then they're not for you. If it's for you, you'll connect with them. So that's my biggest thing. It wouldn't be one particular, it'll be all of the relationships being built.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
You know, I appreciate you. I appreciate, you know, you doing what you're doing. I mean, like, we're gonna be pumping up the platforms. We're gonna be coming. Like when this is what I told Armand. I'm like, a lot of people don't know I was like a president of student government when I was in school.
Mhm.
And when I was, the students asked me to go for it because, you know, I was kind of like popular or whatever they thought. And they said, well, what we got to do, we got to get with the in crowds. And I'm like, man, I'm on Jay-Z time. We, you know, if that party's hot over here, we start our own party. And that's what we're doing. We create our own influencers in our community, because I look at like some of these platforms and I'm seeing these influencers are working together.
Yeah, same
it's
people.
hard to get. Yep. Yeah, it's hard to get there. They always, I'm going on this one's platform, he promoting this one, going this one. So I'm like, why we can't do the same thing? Why we gotta wait to get to their level to do that? No, we can do that right here. We got a circle. Exactly. Even if you got 5 people watching your live, if I bring 5, you bring 5, this one bring 5, this one, we got 20 people now.
Facts.
And guess what? Those 20 people tell 5 more people. That's 100 people right there. Like, that's how it builds. You know, we don't have to wait for somebody to get to verify us, validate us. I don't know if you saw my post lately too on my stories. I validate, like I'm doing this is legacyfirst.LLC verified with the green check. You seen that?
I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah, right. You're gonna start seeing it now because I put it at the bottom of my stories sometimes when I promote. And if you see, I put the green. You know, they do the blue check.
Yeah.
On Legacy First is a green dot. You see that? That's our own. We got our own verification. We don't need nobody to verify us, validate us. We our own circle, you know, no, whether we move from Instagram to YouTube, LinkedIn, hey, wherever.
Clubhouse, put me on the Clubhouse. Yeah.
You know, I was telling you that the gentleman, he pulled me up on the stage and everything, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna support it. That was talking about the 10K guy. Man, you know, you'd be surprised people watching what you're doing. It's not about anything else. They just see that you're supporting others, and they like, man, you know, I hear this guy's come on up, and I'm like, now I'm promoting them, you know?
No, facts. You are the master networker, the master promoter.
Now I get to ask you a question as the podcast host. You know, we need a marketing tip right here. What would be a good marketing tip for the 4th quarter, you know, to get to drive up your organic following, or even if it's paid following, but just to drive up some engagement? Because, you know, a lot of people that's like a big problem is getting engagement on your posts.
Right, and I think what attests to that kind of how you were telling me earlier, just finding those holes on how can I still promote my business in a different way, form, or fashion that'll be relatable to my audience. And it might not be showing up like everybody else, or it might not even be showing up like you used to show up. Because I think sometimes people get used to how you used to show up. Like I know for a long time I was doing videos in front of like my ring light and stuff like that. And it was hidden at first, but I started seeing like people got used to that. They got used to that look. So sometimes people just need a different scenery. Even if you maybe you always record your videos in your office. Okay, bet. Go outside, you know, or go somewhere else, or look different. Sometimes I'll do something as simple as let my hair down in the video. Cause I don't really wear my hair down a lot. So when it's all the way down, people are like, oh my God, I didn't know your hair's that long, and all these different things because of those simple switches. If you're showing up, try to show up in a new way, form, or fashion, and that'll help with that immediate engagement.
I remember you did a post about, should I cut my hair? I had a 10, I don't know, was it 10 years or 5
I was
years?
like, I've been at 8, should I cut it at 10? And that drew engagement. I'm not gonna cut my hair until 10 for real.
I was like, hell no, how you gonna grow your hair that long and then you gonna cut? That's crazy. It's like if you were like where I'm at and you cut it, yeah. But if you got that much investment in it, nah, I would be like, that's what you got me with that, because I was in there. I was like, nah, do not do that.
So but something as simple as that. But I'm always showing up. Or I think I did a post recently too. I was smoking hookah. It got a lot of likes though, because I don't do that. And somebody put me a long caption, like a long thing. Was like, man, I didn't even know that was you, Jha. I really like this. They like that I was sitting back chilling, because they always see me talking about something with marketing. So it just show up in a different way. And that little bitty change might be all your page need to give you a little engagement. Look, give you the dopamine for the day. Like, okay, they still love me. They still love me.
Oh, you like, y'all still liking me. Y'all still like me.
Y'all still,
you know, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, that's a good tip. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna change it up.
Change it up. Go outside. I'll never see you outside, Press. I never seen you. Huh? I never see you do a video outside or something, or just somewhere. I always see you sitting or like, you know, on live. I only see videos of you on live. Like, give me something else. What you got?
Nah, you're right. I'm gonna do that. Matter of fact, tomorrow I'm posting. I'm gonna create something early in the morning. I'm like, we out early in the morning. What y'all doing?
Give me something. Yeah, I was like, give me something different. Okay, this is something new, you know.
Yeah, nah, I appreciate you. Yeah, that's he. We got double heat, team marketing, team networking. We got
Oh,
double heat.
we introduced that again. But no, Prince. Let them know where can they find you. Where can they follow you, find you, and connect with you?
You can find me on Instagram at Legacy First Org. That's the company Legacy First Org. We do have you can look up the Moguls Connects. The YouTube channel is launching on Monday, Cyber Monday. I don't know if the date is there, but LinkedIn is Preston Baker, Clubhouse P Baker NYC, Preston Baker is still Preston Baker. The only reason why the names has changed is just because like I said, my Instagram was hacked, so everything used to be P Baker NYC, like all across the board. But then we're gonna brand out the name, so it's Legacy First Org. But if you go to Instagram Legacy First Org, you hit my website. It has every detail how you can reach me. So any platform I'm on, you just click it and follow. So we appreciate you.
Definitely.
But hit us up on Instagram, or Clubhouse, or LinkedIn. Don't matter. But Instagram is where it's at. You could go on Instagram and click it over. So Legacy First Org.
DM. He'll be in your DM if you got
yeah.
Your business
you hit me up.
really
I'm be in your DM. But your page gotta look legit. Like if it ain't looking like, nah, I'm not. I don't go in everybody's DM. I ain't gonna lie. I do scroll through your content. I'm not one of those people that just I'm just gonna reach out. I look in the content. And I just want to do this. Is the last thing I'm gonna get. This is a pet peeve of mine. For, and I'm not. Maybe I may be wrong, but I tell me, if you have a small account, let's say you have 3,000 followers, 2,500 followers, you's not getting that many DMs.
Press got me. Hold on 1 second.
Nah, it's cool. You scared me. I thought I blacked you out. I'm like, oh man.
Nah, no, it's so funny. Man, I can't wait till I get to like episode 100 and I can bring this up with my camera went dead. We've been on for like an hour. So yeah.
I didn't even know we was on for an hour.
Yeah, we've been going for like an hour now.
My bad. But I was just gonna say, I was just gonna tell people not to automate their messages, man.
I hate that too.
Like if you're a bigger company, yeah, but if you're a small brand, you're it's not authentic because you're not at that level. And I'll tell people, like, if let's say somebody messaged me at 9 a.m, if I don't get back to them till tomorrow 9 a.m, they not worried. They assuming that I probably got a job and I'm doing a business, so they're thinking in their head what's going on in their lives. They're not worried. You just respond, and when you respond, they're not gonna take it personal. But when you do that, start having those automated messages, I'm telling you, it's a turn off. Because I'm telling you, some people that I connect with that I don't even message no more. Because it's like, and they be like, man, where you been? I'm like, because every time I message you, it says, oh, thank you for following us. Thank you for sharing this and sharing that. I'm like, come on, it's automated. I'm not having a real conversation. People want to have real. Social media is social. People want to be social. Be social on social media. And if you're an introvert, it's okay. Just tap in there, like and comment until you get confident enough to jump in the DM. And they can't bite you. What are they gonna say? They tell you no, don't contact me. I'm all right with that too. I'd rather you tell me up front.
No, facts.
Wait, no, I appreciate you for this interview.
No, facts. Like, this has been a lot of value as always. I'm super excited. I'm grateful for giving us.
Yeah, we got to get you on. We got to return the favor.
No, facts. You already know I'm on. But no, that's gonna be it from us, guys. Definitely check out the next episode. You can check out Prez and all the show notes, and I'll talk to you guys soon.